Hey there, guys. All right, today we are back with some more BlueJay, and this time, the craziest projects that were almost a reality. We've already seen some pretty crazy projects, especially when it came to radioactivity. So I'm curious if these are going to be any crazier than what we heard in the in one of the previous BlueJay videos. Before we dive in, though, make sure you go and check out the links in the description box below. I would love if you joined the Discord and followed me over at Twitch. But yeah, the craziest projects that were almost a reality. Let's dive right in.
Humanity and suspended cartoon pianos have anything in common is their uncanny knack for failure time and time again. Whether it be a
Yeah, sounds about right.
New Year's resolution or returning home with the
You know what? Actually, no, working out was not a New Year's resolution of mine years ago. I started working out again. I worked out like growing up, fit, and then graduated high school. First 2 years of college, did jack shit, and then I started working out around August of 2019. Yeah, so it was the same time that I started working at a grocery store for a little bit until COVID started, and I was like, nope, I'm not sticking here for this. I'm out. And then I started doing this, which is what got me through college. And also the COVID payments. Anyways, yeah. Honestly, the last 2 years, I don't know how many of you guys work out or go to the gym regularly. For me, the gym that I go to, for the last 2 years, there has not been many people showing up New Year's. Like the first year that I was working out, there were so many fucking people that showed up post New Year's. I was like, oh my god, this, like, I was parking at the far end of the parking lot, and walking in the freezing cold to the front of my gym, because there were just so many people, because the parking lot was full, because there were so many people at the gym getting gains. But now, last 2 years, I've not been seeing the same effect. Now maybe it's because back then I was working out typically more so in the evening, and nowadays I do it in the morning. But still, like, I don't see really an increase in people in January anymore for the last 2 years. Like, I'll see sometime I'll catch like a couple new people. I'll see a couple new people walking around the gym in like January that I've never seen before. But in terms of like crazy amount of people, no, I don't get that. I wonder what happened. This is a weird tangent that I went on for probably way too long.
milk, humans don't always accomplish everything they set out to do. But while these abandoned goals can leave weight sets dusty or children with lasting psychological damage, sometimes the goal itself is so ridiculous that it's probably best left in the good old idea box. And in a world where people thought hydrogen airships were a good idea.
Well, the amount of jokes BlueJay has made about a father abandoning him, fatherly abandonment, I have a feeling BlueJay's father abandoned him.
Yeah, imagine the zany proposals that didn't make the cut. Now let's take a look at some of the crazy... Is that a flashbang?
Go. Package secured, extracting now. I've got your 6.
The box, it's gone. Mother, they must have tracked our location. Timmy, what are you doing on your phone? I'm just browsing iFunny. Okay, we need to talk about that later, but you're on public Wi-Fi. You should be using NordVPN to hide your location. That must be how they found us. Who's they? No time, we need that box. Video. Oh, good. So as I was saying, let's take a look at some bonkers canceled projects.
Bum, 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 bum.
The people of 19th century London were not that different from us.
Oh no.
They face similar day-to-day challenges that plague our lives
Victorians.
today. But where we lose our keys, they lose their stable boy. Or instead of asking, where can I fit these groceries? They had, where can I fit these thousands of bodies? In the early 1800s, London was frantically searching for a solution for what to do with all their dead. Cemeteries were beginning to find themselves increasingly full. And seeing as how the residents weren't moving out, the lazy fucks, answers were desperately needed. And in 1820, architect Thomas Wilson came up with one such solution. Hey there, chap. That pyramid's rather neat, isn't it? You know what would make it better?
In it, bro.
$5 million. At the time, London was going through an Egyptian craze, with artifacts pouring in from the land of the Nile, a topic that really deserves a video of its own. Influenced by this popularity, Thomas Wilson proposed the Metropolitan Sepulchre. This pyramid would have towered 94 stories on 18 acres of land, overlooking London on Primrose Hill, serving as a nice little reminder in the sky of your impending doom. You know, in case the air wasn't enough. While most plans featured in this video are rather ridiculous, the Death Pyramid actually wasn't that crazy of an idea. With a capacity of 5 million, it would have stored an equivalent of 1,000 acres of traditional cemetery land. To add to its practicality, the summit was to be used as an astronomical observatory, because all the best research is fueled by the screams of the damned. And what did Wilson plan to do if the pyramid got full? Build a new one. Giza got 3. But like all fun things in life.
I mean, honestly, not that bad of an idea. Truly. You know, taking up way less space. And people still get there, though a lot of people kind of want to be buried, and technically if you're getting put into that kind of mausoleum, you're not getting buried, right? You gotta worry about people's technicality for their wants. Personally, I, along with my parents, just want to be burned when I die. I don't want to take up space. Just burn me, spread my ashes. Take my jar of ashes and chuck them in the face of children. Don't do that.
Life, public opinions.
Unless it's really fucking funny, then do it.
Saw the downfall of the Death Pyramid. This could have something to do with the fact that Wilson claimed, it will teach the living to die and the dying to live forever. But I think Industrial Revolution London already had that lesson down. Furthermore, there were concerns that the sheer weight of the thing would literally crush Primrose Hill. We all know how Londoners like their curves. Ultimately, people preferred a wild and free Primrose Hill, with the opening of multiple garden cemeteries on London's countryside being the final nail in the...
I mean, yeah, and also these... In my personal taste of aesthetic, like Highgate Cemetery there, that to me is much more beautiful than whatever the fuck the mausoleum would have turned into.
Coffin. So unfortunately, the Park Cemetery beat out the Death Pyramid as the go-to burial method. But could you imagine? Mother, I miss Grandpappy. Don't you worry, James. Your grandfather will always be watching over you.
Yeah.
In the modern era, many strides have been made towards improving the lives and rights of the LGBT community, resulting in more acceptance of homosexuality in today's culture than ever before.
What the fuck? That's from... Is that MW3? The OG? Yeah. God, I miss the old days of Call of Duty. I'm gonna be honest. I do. Honestly, Call of Duty, though, has gotten to the point that if you are still buying it, I kind of think of you in the same way that I think of people that continue to buy a sports game every single year. I kind of do judge you and think less of you for your decision. Because Call of Duty is not worth that money. Call of Duty is at most a $30 game. Because they are just reskin. It's just the same shit every year. Right, like if they were to only charge $30 for their fucking trash, then I wouldn't hate on it as much. I'd be like, yeah, $30. That's roughly the value, I would say, of multiplayer only that isn't genuinely getting meaningful updates. Because they're just going to release a new game in a year and the old game is going to be dead. Like...
Before. And as with all things, this left the US government with one pressing question. But can we weaponize it? In 1994, research...
And we weaponize the gays. Sir, we're under attack. Not a problem. Send in task force. Gays. I was going to try and think of like a significant like day of a historical march for the LGBTQ community, but I couldn't remember the day, any days in particular. So I was like, task force. Fucking, I don't know.
Researchers at Air Force's Wright Laboratory in Ohio set out to do just that, exploring the potential for a gay bomb. No, not the fun kind. We're talking
psychochemical warfare.
In a 3-page proposal to the Department of Defense, they described how the bomb would disperse a gas over enemy camps that would, quote, cause enemy soldiers to become gay and to have their units break down because all their soldiers became irresistibly attractive to one another. Basically, the idea was to help the enemy combatants make love, not war. so we can make war. The document acknowledged that no
Huh.
such chemical existed at that point, but promised further research into the little explored world of pheromones and aphrodisiacs should their $7.5 million proposal get approved. The basis for the idea seems to have originated from how copulants were marketed as aphrodisiacs in perfumes and colognes since the 70s, but that remains more in the realm of pseudoscience, seeing as how the claim was based on just some observations of monkey behavior, not quite the definition of a serious or controlled scientific study. Regardless, the
Yeah.
proposal made its way to the Pentagon, and I like to
What?
imagine it went a little something like this. Okay, Corporal, what do you got for me? Proposal for a new nuclear warhead that maximizes radiation damage to farmland. About time, push it forward. The Army wants to weaponize honeybees in Iraq, so they... Yeah, sure, fine. Wright Laboratory gave us this proposal for a gay bomb that... Corporal, are you mad? We are the United States of America, for Christ's sake. It is our duty as the leaders of the free world to draw the line on what is just and inhumane. Understood, Major. Consider it scrapped. The FBI think they can overthrow Castro using child sleeper agents and doped up spinner dolphins. How fast can they have it done? The Department of Defense scrapped the proposal pretty quickly, and the gay bomb never saw any real development. But I mean, come on, the idea was pretty ridiculous. There's nothing that can just turn any man gay. It's the early 1920s, and
No, yeah, Ryan Reynolds, fantastic man. Henry Cavill though. Heath Ledger though, if he were still alive, God damn.
America's having a roaring time. They got jazz, that one Fortnite dance, and a stock market that could never get depressing. The Great War may be over, but a great age has just begun. Right, Europe? Oh, right, the war happened here. Spare any change? Ew. Unlike the US, the years immediately following World War I didn't prove fruitful for much of Europe. The continent was experiencing a sharp rise in unemployment, overpopulation, and a looming energy crisis. Noting these issues, German architect Hermann Zorgel sought to kill multiple government drones with one stone, using his continent-uniting project, Atlantropa. Now,
Oh,
I know
yeah.
what you're thinking, and no, unfortunately, Atlantropa wasn't a plan for a massive Atlantis-themed water park. In fact, quite the opposite. Instead of a large influx of water, the project called for the draining of water. A lot of water. Like a sea's worth. Specifically, Zorgel wanted to partially drain the Mediterranean Sea by building a series of dams. The Mediterranean is naturally evaporative, with water flowing in from the Atlantic. A dam across the Strait of Gibraltar would naturally lower the sea level over time, and Zorgel planned to drop it by up to 200 meters, creating over 660,000 square kilometers of new land for living space. Europe and Africa would unite into a new supercontinent, with all its energy needs being met by the new dam, the construction of which would provide the unemployed masses with work for decades. The plan initially saw a lot of support from the German public, but not so much so from countries actually on the Mediterranean. This could have something to do with the fact that the fishing villages weren't all that keen on becoming mountain ones, and places like
Yeah.
Venice would pretty much lose their entire identity. But come on, ocean views are overrated. Things are great in Germany. Africa wasn't a fan either. Something about giving Europeans easier access to their lands didn't quite sit right with them, but their opinion
Yeah.
mattered about as much as a post on Apple's feedback page. Yeah, basically we'd merge together as one continent, and we could build railroads to you guys, making travel extremely convenient. What do you think?
أخشى عليه من الجبل طال غيابه هذه المرة.
I know, great, right? Say, how much concrete do you have? Zorgel later pitched the project to the Nazis after they took over, noting their desire for living space, but they weren't all that interested in the plan. A dam? Why bother creating new land when there is all this land nobody is using? What? Of course, Atlantropa had a few small issues that needed some ironing out, such as catastrophic effects on climate, the mass
Yeah.
extinction of Mediterranean marine life,
Yeah.
and the lack of enough concrete in the world at the time to actually construct the thing.
Wait, was there? Huh.
Oh, and there's a small fact that the homes of millions and the power of an entire continent were solely subject to the proper operation of a single dam holding back a literal ocean. Can you imagine the catastrophe if the squirrel from Ice Age stumbled upon it? Zorgel continued to
I'm kind of curious what would happen. I'm really kind of curious what the fuck would happen if that did break.
promote his project until his death in 1952, with his beloved Atlantropa losing all its steam with him. But hey, now that the name is open for the taking, I say we try that water park idea.
I agree.
actually went ahead and took a crack at the design. It's themed after the movie Atlantis the Lost Empire, which features dynamite-wielding Italians, making it objectively the best animated Disney movie.
Correct.
I'm thinking we can build a thing in Poland, because God knows they deserve a break. If a colossal water park can't line up a place that depressing, I don't know what will. Perhaps a gay bomb. Yeah, 10 stars.
And this was the craziest project that were almost a reality. He didn't do a German accent in this one. I was kind of hoping he'd do a German accent for Herman Sorgel there, but he didn't. But that's okay. Yeah, I've got nothing to add here at the end. This was really entertaining. I love BlueJay. I don't know how many more weeks of like he doesn't have too many videos on his channel. So I think we've probably got a couple months of probably watching BlueJay before we're all caught up on all of his videos, and then I'm gonna have to figure something out again. But yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed. Remember to hit that like button and subscribe for more, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace.